So the UK is in a massive crisis regards housing. We have £5.2 million a day spent on housing for asylum seekers. And I'm not racist. It's a reality check that those people, some are genuine, some aren't. Some want the free money and free house. Others are here because it's a safe country. And our thoughts and prayers go with those who are from war-torn countries, who are here as a safe place. And prayers do stay with Ukraine. But what about the UK and the UK housing market that's in dire straits? Lack of affordable rental accommodation, lack of council properties that you can rent. And you know that as a rental property, it's not forever. It's a temporary home while your landlord allows you to stay in those premises. You're given a contract, and at the end of that contract, it's a month-by-month rolling contract. And then the day of dread appears. You get notification the landlord's selling and you have to be out. Where do you go? What do? You have your belongings in the property. You have your own circumstances, friends, family, work, commitments, and then you have to find somewhere else to live. And for those like me whose contract came to an end in 2020 and was out of work for so long, and mounting bills and no means to pay it, and you're now in debt, you can't privately rent. You can't actually get a council property because you are in accommodation and you're paying your rent. So you're being told you have to leave through no fault of your own. It's just the landlord has to sell the property due to finances, due to the problems that the government have placed, but also lack of their own finances. That's happened to us. We have to now either find the money to buy our property or move out and move somewhere else. What do we do? Where do we go? And thankfully I have a good team of people in Cogito Wealth who can advise me on what to do next, where to go, and I've got amazing support through them. So I thank them for their support. And this weekend is mixed with joy and sadness. I've got a nomination for 2 awards, which I'm going to tomorrow. And it's been a real tough few months. But I thank Sarah and the team for the support that they're giving me right now as we try and work through what to do next. So our Rick surveyor will be here on Monday to give us a valuation for our property, and we see if we can raise the funds in order to buy it, to keep my palliative care husband at home and to relieve the stress that us and our family are in right now. If you're in a similar situation, message me. We can connect, we can chat through things, and maybe we can support one another in these strange times.
Now, did anyone see old dickhead Starmer's New Year's Eve speech yesterday? Obviously, he's reading from the teleprompter. But everything he's saying, yet again, is more bullshit coming out of his mouth. And just lie after lie, yet again. Have a look for yourselves. Tell me what you think.
No, there's still so much more to do. And that for many people, it's hard to think about the future when you spend all of your time fighting to get through.
You spend all our money.
So I want to be clear. Until you can look forward and believe in the promise and the prosperity of Britain again, then this government will fight for you.
No, you don't.
A fight for change that will define this year, next year, and indeed every waking hour of this government.
Lie, lie, lie.
We have a clear plan for change. 1.5 million new homes.
Lies.
Restoring the dream of home ownership. Children starting school ready to learn.
What?
A more secure energy system. Waiting lists cut dramatically. Immigration reduced.
Bollocks.
Neighbourhood police tackling antisocial behaviour in every community. And more cash in your pocket wherever you live.
More cash in our pockets? Where the is this money? Because as far as I'm concerned, they've taken money away from us. And children ready to learn and start school. They're already ready to learn and start school. The trouble is the education system is shit and broken. The man sits there and gives all these promises of a brighter future. But so far, the future is dark for this country. Everything that man says is completely dishonest and just lies. And just like back in July, when he became Prime Minister, he started his term lying. Now he's starting 2025 lying. Let me know what you all think about his speech in the comments.
Oh, well, the gift that keeps on giving. Labour Party, anti-corruption minister, Tulip, resigns because she's had some corruption allegations against her. So if it isn't full of nonsense, it's now full of corrupt anti-corruption ministers. How much longer do you reckon this clown government has got? I mean, it's literally daily. Can you remember when he got in and who was it? It was one of the girls said, the adults are in charge now. You couldn't make this up. The anti-corruption minister has had to resign because of corruption allegations. I can't wait for all of the wokies to go, yes, but she had a family to feed. Oh, you can't make this up. Bloody hell. I can't wait for tomorrow. This is making me a killing on TikTok, this group of...
So the Labour lies and deception have started already. Keir Starmer has come out and said that they didn't realise how bad of a position the country was in when they vowed to not raise any taxes. However, we know that this is absolute bollocks because they had full clarity of all the books prior to the election when they built their manifesto. So now coming out and saying that they didn't realise the situation they're in is complete and utter nonsense. So what are they likely to increase? It's looking very likely like it'll be a council tax increase, an inheritance tax increase, and a capital gains tax increase. As if council tax in my area isn't already enough. And if I'm honest, there's potholes in the road area. What are they actually even spending the money on? They can't say that they didn't know about the mess the country was in already, because Rachel Reeves even told the Financial Times back in June that they did not need to win the election to know how much of a mess the country was in. So if you knew how much of a mess the country was already in, why didn't you tell us you were going to raise taxes in your manifesto? Why are you telling us now you've been elected? Make sure you follow on this one because I'm going to make sure that I bring you up to date with anything as it comes. And not only that, let me know what you think about these tax raises in the comments and I'll get back to you.
Name and shame the Labour MP that was seen double fist pumping in celebration over the cut to winter fuel payments being passed through Parliament. You've heard that right. A Labour MP has been seen double fist pumping the air in celebration. Celebrating that pensioners are going to possibly die, thousands of them, from their decision. Or to just give train drivers more of a pay rise on already a salary that's way above the national average. This should speak volumes to every single person in the UK that is below the pension age. If you're 18, 28, 38, 48, 58, you should be worried because this perfectly shows that no matter how much you pay into the system, you contribute to their system, you pay all the tax, you're law abiding, you stick by the rules, you contribute to the country growing and being built, just to be completely over in your last couple of days, your years, your months, your weeks. They will still come for you and take money off you no matter how much they want, when they want, whenever they want, they will come for you in your last stretch of life. Absolute scumbags. Take the money off of us. There could have been so many other ways that they could have accommodated this and worked out the finances so they don't have to take off the pensioners. They don't have to give the train drivers this money for one. Stop giving money away for war in Ukraine. Literally pissing in the wind with $3 billion a year. You have to just take the money off of us, the working lot. We'll figure it out how to make more money. The old pensioners can't go out and work for it anymore, can they? They shouldn't be having to worry about money at this stage in their life when they've paid in so much money. And they should be focused on spending time with their loved ones, making memories in their last moments of life, their last stretch of life. Not worrying about are they going to freeze to death because the government's taking more money off them, who they've paid the government all their life and time and sacrifice so much. Literally fucking these lot. Absolute bottom feeders, for sake.
I'm determined to put money back into those people that work's pockets. Labour Party will freeze council tax this year.
Rip up that council tax bill
vote Labour, we'll scrap your council tax bills of this year. If that's the case, then why is my council tax bill this? Scrapping that, are ya? Don't think so, because your pockets are lined. You go on your nice little holidays, are you? Go back to your little 5-bed fucking mansion. Fuck it off. You chat so much shit, mate. I can fucking smell it. I can fucking smell your shit that's coming out your fucking mouth, let alone your fucking ass. Just fucking lies after lies after lies, and it's all fucking take. Just want to point out, I don't know where that came from. Maybe it's because I keep having the piss taken out of me and having my money stolen.
So the UK government is now dishing out 5-year guaranteed rent contracts to private landlords, not for ordinary Brits, not for young families, but for asylum seekers. Yes, while you're out here refreshing Rightmove like it's Tinder, hoping for a miracle under 1,200 quid, Serco is offering landlords guaranteed cash, no hassle, fully funded by you. The same taxpayers who can't even get a doctor's appointment without begging and waiting weeks on end. Thousands of homes are being pulled from the private rental market, just as an entire generation of British people can't afford to leave their parents' house. And what's the government doing for you? Absolutely. Let's be clear. This isn't compassion. It's a two-tier system where the people who built this country, who work, obey the law and pay every bill, get pushed to the bottom, while those who just arrived get handed the keys. Loyalty means nothing. Being British gets you nothing. This isn't a housing plan. It's a betrayal. And we are not staying silent anymore, because if we don't speak up now, then who will?
Yo, England is officially done. England is finished, mate. This country is finished. This is a horrible, expensive, miserable place nowadays. I was on Instagram before, yeah, and I seen that teachers are now putting digital clocks in schools because the kids can't even tell the time no more. Like, what? For one, it's a school, so teacher, and for two, it's like, in 20 years, these are going to be the people of our country, the adults of our country. Like, I'm telling you, give it 20 years, this country is going to be one of them writ-off European countries like Poland or Ukraine or somewhere that no one wants to go, bro. Another thing, yo, life's getting so expensive, bro. It doesn't make no sense. Nowadays, a pack of 6 costs you like £15. You could go Thailand and get a hotel for the night for £15. It doesn't make no sense, bro. Quick Nando's, it's a quick, cheap little scran. But it used to be. Now you're spending 20-25 quid on a Nando's. Like, make it make sense, bro. It's just a miserable place. Not only the weather, but the culture. Like, we don't have anything here in England. Like, there's no culture behind it. No one's proud of where they come from. No one's like, oh yeah, come to my city, everyone just wants to get out of this shithole. Like, it is a horrible, horrible place, man. It's only getting worse. So, if you can get out, I suggest you do get out. If you can't, plan on finding a way to get out. And if you are looking to get away, shout me, cause in the next 3 weeks, I'm jumping on a one-way flight and I'm out of this bitch.
The UK housing market is well and truly cooked. If you haven't bought a house already in the UK and you're thinking about buying a house, if I were you, my best advice would be to pause, relax for a second. Don't get ahead of yourself, because it has been confirmed. We've been knowing this for a while now, but it's been confirmed. UK housing is the worst value for money of any advanced economy currently in the world. All you have to do to see the facts of this is go onto Zoopla, go onto Rightmove, look at any property. Like, obviously, don't get me wrong, there's some areas of the UK whereby house prices are somewhat respectable. But even outside of London, 2-bedroom flats are costing you upwards of £250,000, £300,000 at a go. What is wrong with your head? I don't understand the UK. They make me at a loss for words, because this is not the life that we should be living. Now, when you're talking about value for money when it comes to buying a property, you're talking about how much space are you getting for the amount of money that you're paying. And clearly, we can see that England and Greater London is a shambles when it comes to the amount of space that you're given for the amount of money that you have to pay. It's crazy. Tokyo is famously overpopulated, and they're saying that there's so many young professionals there, so many families that are living there, that they're living in such cramped conditions. London is on a level footing. The only place that is, well, from this list anyway, that we can see that's worse is Paris. And yeah, there's not too much that can be said about them, man, there. These are the living conditions, or at least some of the living conditions in Tokyo that people are residing in, people are living in. London is on a par with this. So if you're there steadfastly saving your money and you're going to buy somewhere in the United Kingdom, I would hold off for a minute. I wouldn't buy anything just now. I would hold on for a minute and wait and see in which way that the market's going to change and housing's going to change after the general election, because something's got to give. Because I can put my last penny on the fact that if this place was for rent in London, they'd be charging you at least £1,000 a month.
So did you know it costs £54,000 a year to house one immigrant in the UK in a hotel? Now, the government has started a scheme because they are fed up of paying their hotel bills, but they're looking to our housing stock to actually provide the homes for these immigrants. Now, we don't think this is very fair. We haven't got enough housing stock for the people that want it, and we've got huge demand. What do you think?
So I have a pit in my stomach as I'm recording this, but in 2 weeks' time, I'm officially homeless. I honestly didn't think it would come to this, but this is, this is UK, guys. This is what happens when we don't regulate, people buying second homes, when we don't regulate Airbnb. This is what happens. People who are working full time just can't afford to live in the place of work anymore. I've tried to contact the council. The waiting list for a council housing is 5 years at the moment. So I'm packing up my stuff, putting in storage. I managed to secure some house sitting for August, and I might have a chance to be with friends from September. But guys, this is not okay. This is not acceptable.
Now, I really need to know what your thoughts are in regards to this, because Keir Starmer, the Labour Party leader, has just done the biggest trade deal since leaving the EU with India. Now, the problem I have with this is, as some of you may know, some of you may not, this is why I want to know what your thoughts are, is this great trade deal, like I say, the biggest that we've done since leaving the EU, that they won't have to pay national insurance. No. So, how is it that, yet again, our leader and Calculator Reeves can put this deal together with knowing that they've stitched us up as the taxpayer, left, right and centre, hook, line and sinker, but think it's fine to say, but you know what, we're going to do this deal. People of Britain should be happy with it. And yeah, India ain't going to pay their national insurance. See my point? What are your thoughts? Let me know.
So obviously there's been a lot of debate about national insurance with this India-UK trade deal, but here's why I think it's been blown out of proportion. This is obviously my opinion and based off information that I've read that I will share with you now, but please let me know in the comments why you think I might be wrong or the other points that I haven't maybe considered. So first of all, I think there's been a lot of misinformation about who it actually impacts. We're not talking about all Indian migrant workers that come over. If you actually read it, it's about Indian employees will not have to pay national insurance contributions while on short-term intercompany transfers to the UK. So this means that they actually have to work for an Indian company that A, has a business in the UK, but then it also needs to transfer them for a temporary amount of time. And during that time, they still have to pay the immigration health surcharge to be able to use the NHS, which is about £1,000 a year. But this point is also a massive point. It is very common to see this type of agreement. It's called a reciprocal agreement, and we have them with over 50 countries, including, the Eurozone, Japan, the US, and actually other developing countries like, the Philippines. So I have to question, why are we suddenly annoyed that this deal is happening with India, but we're not annoyed that it's happening with so many other countries? I think the last point I consider is actually the time that they're allowed to stay. So obviously it's been heavily criticised that they could stay up to 3 years. And I actually do understand that point, and I kind of agree it does seem too long. So I'm not necessarily disagreeing, but it is worth noting that some temporary work visas allow you to stay for over 5 years. For example, a skilled worker visa. So whilst it's important to critique government decisions, I mean, I've been very critical of this government and obviously previous governments, I do feel this whole debate has just been blown up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Of course, I want to hear them, and like and follow for more finance and investing content.
So Keir Starmer's raised national insurance, meaning that each employer is paying about an extra £1,000 a year per employee. But now he's just done an agreement with India saying that any Indian workers can come and work over here for 3 years without paying any national insurance. Now, I'm not the sharpest tool in the book, but my dad wasn't a toolmaker. But surely this is going to cause absolute chaos. I mean, talk about shooting yourself in the foot. Now, like I say, I'm not the sharpest tool in the book, but just reading what the Indian government have said, they're going to be allowed to have Indians working in British companies and not paying any national insurance, where British workers have had their national insurance raised. So if you do the maths, that means that a business is going to be about 20% cheaper to bring somebody over from India than employing somebody from Britain. Doesn't seem right to me. I mean, is Keir Starmer looking to ruin the country and his reputation in one move? I mean, Jesus. I'm going to have to look into it a little bit more, but on face value, this looks like a suicide move.
25.5 billion. That's what Britain has just signed away in a free trade deal with India. Sounds impressive, right? Until you look at who actually benefits. Because it's not British workers, it's not our businesses, and it's definitely not the people being taxed to the hilt just to keep the lights on. This deal lets Indian workers come here and not pay national insurance for 3 years, while British workers are still being hammered with every payslip. Let that sink in. You pay, they don't. And why? So a few global corporations can pat themselves on the back, while small businesses in towns like ours keep folding. This isn't trade, it's a carve-up, and the British public are nowhere near the table. We were told Brexit was about taking back control, but now it's being handed away again, quietly and without your consent. I'm all for fair trade when it's mutual, when it protects our jobs and our wages and our future. But this is the same old story. Open the doors, sell the story, silence the working class. Reform UK says no more. If you come to Britain to work, you pay into the same system every Brit does. That's fairness, because we are not second-class citizens in our own country. 25 billion might sound like progress, but if it comes at the cost of our jobs, our taxes and our self-respect, it's not a deal, it's a disgrace.
They lost control of immigration. We had nearly 1 million people come into this country, had an open borders experiment.
The biggest political con man of our age. During the Labour leadership campaign, he defended free movement. He also said this about immigration when he was looking for the support of Labour members to become leader.
I think Conservatives have created this hostile environment, whether it's Windrush, whether it's the general response to immigration, or whether it's just the way the Home Office make their decisions. It's based on this idea that somebody's trying to cheat rather than actually based on an open, welcoming environment. I think we should welcome people wherever they come from. thank them for their contribution, and see them as part of our families, our communities, and our society, and embrace that. I mean, London is an amazingly diverse and fantastic place for it, and the whole United Kingdom is better because of immigration. And I think, if I'm honest, the Labour Party has been a bit scared of making a positive case for immigration for quite a number of years, and I think we need to turn that round and broaden it out and make sure that people feel absolutely welcome here.
Now, Keir Starmer reneged on absolutely everything pretty much he stood for in that election. Taxing the rich, to public ownership, to scrapping tuition fees, to putting human rights at the heart of British foreign policy. Keir Starmer is a charlatan. He's a man with no principles, no moral core, who stands for nothing other than advancing his own career. That guy wanted to be Prime Minister for the hell of it. And he will throw anyone under a bus in the pursuit of power. Shame on that man. Shame on his government. And I've no doubt that Keir Starmer's eventual downfall from power will be a very, very bitter experience for him.
£22 billion black hole was a complete lie. The Treasury and OBR, the buck stops there. The facts are it didn't exist. They scraped the barrel to find just 9.5 billion. So Labour keep banging on and trying to blame the previous party that they made a £22 billion black hole when they didn't. Okay, we already know that the Labour Party were a cause of 9 billion of that, because you saw the blank faces when I was having the interviews. So the facts are there. Okay, that's already been proven. Okay, 9 billion of the supposed £22 billion. So if the OBR of now going through that report have officially said that 9.5 billion, and that's them scraping the barrel, is all that they can find, that means, like I say, 9 billion of that we already know was Labour before they were even in party, and 0.5 billion was the previous party. Meaning all that upset, worry, distress, all these tax rises that Calculator Reeves and Keir Starmer have said they've had to address and look into because they're looking at the figures to try and make the country work, in my opinion, just all need to be completely stopped and reversed. 100%. I can't see how this party can continue anymore knowing that there's been lie after lie, deception after deception, because the proof and the evidence and the facts are there. The buck really does stop with the Treasury and the OBR investigating that report and now saying, like I say, only 9.5 billion, meaning 0.5 billion, like I said, was the previous party. We already know that 9 billion was caused by Labour before they were in power. So stop banging on about £22 billion black holes, because you've now been caught out officially, legally. So now what's going to happen? People, let me know. Fill your boots in there in the comments. We've got him now. He needs to resign. The whole party needs to step down. And we can see how this country can move forward.
Doubt. Keir Starmer says he is proud of Britain's history of free speech. Let that sink in. As he clashes with JD Vance over praying at abortion clinics during Oval Office meeting with Trump. They got arrested. People got arrested for praying silently across the road, not even saying words or anything. People got arrested for that. There's also the fact that people were calling the Southport killer a terrorist, and then they got arrested for that. There was also the people saying that they didn't want their children to be, you know, R-word and everything like that, and they got arrested for that. People have spoken out about the Labour MP, and police turned up to the woman's door. This was only 2 days ago, saying that the one that was involved in the WhatsApp group. But yeah, all right, kid. Who the is this guy trying to fool? And like, the newspapers reported this, like, you can see the video. The newspapers report this as if it's like, oh, Keir Starmer's showing his guts finally. It's like, no, JD Vance literally said about it, and he went, no, actually, we do have free speech. We do. Well, I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing it for certain groups. I'm not seeing it for the normal British citizens that are just tired and sick of being f***ed over every day. But yeah, all right, we've got free speech. All right, mate.
Do you believe the general election in 2025 was won on lies? Do you believe that when a political party makes promises during a general election that they must keep them? Do you believe if those promises are broken that a criminal investigation should be launched? The general election in 2025 was not an honest general election. It was the only general election I can remember where every promise made was a lie. A lie that Labour knew would get the people on side but would not deliver. Have we now had enough of the lies? Is it not time the police admitted that the last general election was fraud? And Keir Starmer and the Labour Party should be investigated. If you feel cheated like me that a political party was voted in on lies, then please post your comments below and let me know if you are going to vote Labour in the local elections in May.